What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist here at Odd Shopper, and this is Lindy and Friends. All right. We worked through some of the kinks yesterday, which was beautiful. Thank you so much to my friend DKDFS for jumping on the show. Hopefully you learned a little something about the process of it here, but we've got our very first guest play coming your way today, courtesy of my friend Eytan Sander. I'm so excited to bring that to you, but you know what? I am going to break down the entire slate here on this video. I think we figured out a way where this can work and it can live forever. I'm not going to say in infamy because that would be bad. We want it to live good in this place, and we've got ourselves a beautiful little Lindy's. These leans, look at that. Lindy's leans up here. Let's talk through the ins and outs of the things that I didn't bet on this program. We got Chicago +7. Look, Giddy, Ball, both of them questionable. This just feels like a coin flip. 219 is a perfectly efficient total. So Chicago +7, that's going to be a lean for today. Next up, Philly at Boston. Boston, I want to pull the trigger on 13 here, and maybe Eytan Sander can talk me into something here in a second, because we talked a little before the show. I showed some restraint on Peyton Pritchard, and that didn't come to fruition because he puts up 40 points, 10 plus threes, just a ridiculous outing. 16.5, though, 17.5. Those were his opening numbers across the industry. Couldn't do that even with Drew Holiday out. But here's the thing. Tatum ended up sitting 2, and now Tatum, Porzingis, Holiday, they all sat Wednesday. I would be shocked if at least 2 weren't in. Next up, Golden State, Brooklyn. Look, under 224, if you absolutely made me do anything here, but it's 2 perfectly predictable squads in their current iterations. We got D'Lo and Cam Thomas back, so the pace is up a little tiny bit here with Cam Thomas. However, nothing's really standing out to me. Pretty gross game, and Golden State playing pretty well in this Jimmy Butler era. And last but not least, the Knicks in LA. The closest I came to betting anything, this combination, the Lakers money line, along with Austin Reeves 20 plus coming back into fruition here. He ended up sitting out last time out, but we got OG and Precious. If they end up both playing, this line should stay kind of where it is. And I think they're far more likely to play than not. So as I worked through this board, I really think that Austin Reeves maybe ends up a play alongside Luka and LeBron, who are both distributors. But for the most part, probably just going to be staying away. So those are your 4 leans. There are 2 games that I've omitted that we'll get to after we talk to my good friend, Eytan Sander. Let's bring him in now. Look at that. I'm on this side of the screen, which is rare because I do a great show over on X with my friend Eytan Sander, where we break down everything over at Tails. That is, of course, on my side over here, Eytan Sander. Sander Bets over on X. My dude, welcome to the program, Lindy and Friends.
I am thrilled. I cannot believe that you are opening the door to such a successful product and not coveting it all to yourself. So I am thrilled and honored, Lindy, to be a part of this extravagant process here.
No, I think the people need to know how many sharp people we have over in Tails. I think they also need to know some basketball expertise that isn't necessarily just from yours truly. And of course, when we get into the MLB season, the NFL season, I'll be able to do more videos having it with this format where I can get you more plays across multiple sports. And hey, college basketball, there's this little tournament coming up in a couple of weeks that I think people care about. Actually, there's a bunch of tournaments starting up next week people are going to care about too, but that's neither here nor there. I just talked through the leans of my program. We'll get to the likes, locks portion a little bit later. 2 likes that are going to be on the program for today. But I was looking at Chicago, Orlando, just a gross game. Philly and Boston, something that we'll talk about here in a second. Golden State, Brooklyn, under 224. The Knicks, the Lakers have been playing so good. And even though that's looking decent to me, I'm probably going to stay away. I don't think there's a ton of value attached to it with Cat good to go. How you feeling about this slate with some of these leans? Because I think there was a spot there with Boston you might be interested in.
Yeah, I absolutely am. And that's going to be, I think, where I'm going to go ultimately for me. But I
first ever guest play of the program?
Are we doing this now, or are we going to do other stuff and talk through other things? Okay, so look, I think you're right. The lean, the hunch, if you will, for Boston is spot on. And I know they're coming on the second night of the back-to-back, but they're going up against a team that is just physically and spiritually, maybe even more important, defeated in the Philadelphia 76ers. You're not going to get Maxey back. Paul George is going to remain a game-time decision until he's just out for the rest of the year. But on the flip side, right, like no Tatum tonight, maybe Brown sits tomorrow night. Does it really matter? Sam Hauser started and they still beat a better Blazers team than the Sixers are. So I think ultimately what we're taking advantage of here, Lindy, is this line, even if it doesn't move or creep to where we get some massive CLV, I can't imagine that we lose anything, especially because what's happening with the Sixers, right? Like what's changing with their roster? Who all of a sudden is going to make an impact that we already know or maybe don't know, right? Like Kelly Oubre running the point is not going to drastically change this spread for us, my friend. So I think you have at home, it's still the Sixers, and they still carry something with Boston where the Celtics do still want to pummel and beat them. And they are motivated, I think, to at least handle business for the first 3 quarters. But ultimately, here's what it comes down for me. The fact that the bench, think about this, the Celtics 6 through 9 through 10 are a starting lineup compared to what the Sixers put out for their starting 5. Give me the Celtics.
Oh my gosh. Well, not like betting against your own team to really start things off. I mean, it's money hath no friendship, if you will. Look at that. But my friend, Eytan Sander, is in the Lindy and Friends Discord. And wouldn't you know it, throw it up on the screen, producer Jacob. You can get myself and Eytan Sander in the same place for the same prices you could before, and it's even gotten better. $5, Lindy 5. Lindy 5. Get the Lindy and Friends exclusive Discord promo here. Myself, Eytan Sander, giving you the first ever guest play. The official, what was the exact, look at that. Another beautiful photo of him and myself. Just need the people to know over on Tails where to find you. And then over on X, at Sander Bets here. Anything else that you want the people to know before we get out of here and I get to my plays?
No, absolutely not. The only thing I really need moving forward, you can follow me again at Sander Bets, but I need to talk to Jacob and figure out how to get my beard to not pixelate. Look, it's like it's snowing on my face because of these grays right here. There has to be a fix to it. Thank you, brother. Salute. I'm thrilled to be a part of this. I can't wait to see how much this continues to grow. Go Tails.
Go Tails, baby. Check it out down at the link below. My good friend Eytan Sander, thanks for hopping on. To the plays we go. Indiana Pacers at the Atlanta Hawks. This is play number 1 for you here. And again, I hope you understand that just by going over those leans, talking you through why maybe I'm not interested, saves you time, saves me time, gets us to the good stuff. And this is, I think, the good stuff. You want to talk about why it is that these pace metrics have been going absolutely nuts. And we can talk about Memphis on a different day. I ended up staying away from that under today because John Morant was, I thought, pretty expected to come in after he went through shoot around. So you can't even make fun of me for it today. But on Thursday, potentially you could, because these are 2 very fast-paced teams. Again, Atlanta up there, number 2 in pace, right behind the aforementioned Memphis Grizzlies. Indeed, not far behind, but we got to talk Tyrese Halliburton because he is questionable and he's been playing awesome basketball, but you just go through his year-long numbers. The Pacers have a 116.8 offensive rating and a abysmal 114.5 defensive rating with Halliburton on the floor this season. But off the court, just a 106.3 offensive rating and a 109.2 defensive rating. So the offense gets markedly worse and the defense gets a little bit worse. We're talking nearly a full 5 points per 100 possessions. So it is an absurd difference having Tyrese Halliburton in this game or out of this game. He's been extremely effective, and we have Benedict Mather in there with a Q tag as well. So even though it's at 247, which I do think says, hey, Halliburton's more likely to be in, I already think it's a little too high for my liking. Have it closer to the 241, 242 type range. It's borderline lock territory at that number, but we're keeping him at a half unit. Obviously, the Denny Avdija one in your recap that you'll be getting on Sunday nights here for this program. Yeah, Denny Avdija, it was a bummer to have him get hurt there and just overall got all the CLV and all the land. And I think we'll get CLV here too, especially if Halliburton is out. But I really like this play. Really like the opportunity you have here too. Sign up with any of our 12 sponsors at the screen on the screen at the link below and get yourself 1 month of perhaps my Tails Discord or somebody else in the marketplace. And anybody in the Tails marketplace that you tail, you'll have an opportunity just by signing up at any of these 12 partners and following these 4 simple steps. You can get yourself access to the Lindy Discord. That's a $50 a month value, $20 for a week, but $5 right now with Lindy 5. But hey, completely free for an entire month after that. That'll lead you well into baseball season. So an awesome opportunity here, signing up with one of our partners, depositing, placing a bet, taking a screenshot of the welcome email and first settled bet, and emailing to support@oddshopper.com. Would love to see you there. Alrighty, let's get to the last pick of the night. Here we are, Houston at New Orleans. This is the second game that I wanted to break down for you. My modeling has this a little bit closer to 3.8. Now, in which direction? Obviously, it'd be very strange to me to not have it be on the New Orleans side because there's a little meat on the bone and comes down to Zion Williamson. Are people aware what he's up to? First off, lost a ton of weight. Congratulations to him. Second of all, 37 points in 26 minutes against the Lakers, and the Lakers just torched him anyway. It was absurd stuff, though. But with everybody in on both sides outside of Fred VanVleet on the Houston side, it's very easy for me to kind of pinpoint the rotations from both these teams. And you have upside of 30 minutes if need be for Zion Williamson in competitive games. This is a lower variance basketball game because Houston, they don't exactly get out and run, 226.5 total. I really like this. I almost thought about the plus 180 on the money line really to get aggressive for the people, but I do want to breed a little bit of caution, and I think the better value is taking the points. New Orleans plus 5.5. So we got 2 plays on the board for you here for today. Hopefully you enjoyed actually 3 total with our first guest play from Eytan Sander on the Boston side. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And that does it for an edition of Lindy and Friends. Now it is Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks as well, putting that together for the people. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you have any feedback, obviously, kindly provide it down below in the video description box. I think we worked through some good stuff here for you. And also a lot of props that'll be posted at Eric Lindquist over on X as well. I mean, mostly in the premium Discord here going forward. So that's down below. Lindy 5. Yeah, throw it up on the screen one more time for the people. Producer Jacob. Lindy 5. Just $5 for your first week of the Lindy Discord at the link below. Alrighty, y'all. That does it for today. Thank you, Producer Jacob. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Thursday.